Hi friends, welcome to Peace is Here, the daily series exploring the architects of enough. Today we conclude our theme, the social and systemic enough, by honoring Jane Addams. She didn't seek to fix society from the top down. She built a model for peace and dignity right on her own street corner. Architect of Enough. Born in 1860 in Cedarville, Illinois, Jane Addams was one of the first generation of college-educated women. After years of travel and searching for purpose, she co-founded Hull House in Chicago in 1889. Inspired by London's Toynbee Hall, Hull House became a settlement house, a community center where educated middle and upper-class residents lived and worked alongside the poor immigrant communities of the neighborhood. Hull House wasn't charity, it was radical empathy. Addams believed that the privileged had much to learn from the residents and that systemic change must begin with listening and shared dignity. She focused on practical needs, kindergarten classes, job training, art studios, and libraries, but her work extended far beyond simple services. Hull House became a powerful engine for legislative reform, leading fights for child labor laws, housing codes, and women's suffrage. In 1931, Jane Addams was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for her work as a tireless peace advocate and her commitment to fostering social harmony through local action. She proved that peace is not just the absence of war, but the presence of justice and equitable opportunity. Addams lived a modest life within the walls of Hull House, rejecting the opulence she could have easily afforded. She taught that true social wealth lay not in accumulated capital, but in the shared resources and dignity of a community. Her book, 20 Years at Hull House, 1910, is the most direct window into her philosophy and the foundational experiences that shaped her life. The Enough Reflection. Do the work of the corner. Jane Addams taught us that you don't need a global platform to enact systemic change. You need a dedicated corner. Her approach to the enormous, overwhelming problems of poverty and immigration was to shrink the scale, focus on the block, the house, the person. When a problem feels too big, ask, what small part of this problem touches my life, my street, or my conversation? This reminds me of one of the tips from Peace Stuff Enough, the new companion book to One More Year. You can find it and follow the Kickstarter at avaskalfsbeck.com. Pedro says, to force the city to address the horrendous sanitation problems in her neighborhood, Jane Addams was so committed to simple, direct action that she successfully applied for and served as the officially appointed garbage inspector for Chicago's 19th Ward. What piece of social injustice or civic decay do I notice right in my immediate neighborhood? What small, persistent act of care or listening could I contribute to that place this week? Words to keep. Jane Addams spoke beautifully about the necessity of bridging divides through shared experience. In her work, she wrote, "The only hope of the world lies in the measure of our human attainments, not in our possessions." It is a quiet but powerful statement that redefines social wealth as something internal and communal rather than individual and material. If this daily message has brought you peace, please take a moment to subscribe and share this episode with someone who needs it. That was the life and wisdom of our architect of enough for this episode. If their story has inspired you to seek your own path to less consumption and more contentment, then please step off the treadmill with me. Let's learn from the architects of enough and discover together that for our planet, for our community, and for ourselves, peace is here. To follow my work, including the new book, Peace Stuff Enough, the entire Pedro the Water Dog Saves the Planet series, and the podcast archive, visit avaskalfsbeck.com. That's also where you can find the link to my current Kickstarter. Our music is Dalai Lama Riding a Bike by the talented Javier Peque Rodriguez. You can find links to his music on Spotify and Bandcamp in the show notes. Thank you again. Listen for the peace.